So, what a great week it's been. I mentioned on the last couple of videos that I was looking at doing a full audit, and I'm still doing that. I won't lie and say that I've finished that, but it's been so far very good. I mean, I mentioned that I've saved £88 a month on a British gas bill that I didn't even know was going out, or at least I knew it was going out, but I didn't know what it was. So I've managed to save that, which is over £1,000 a year. I've also saved some more little bits and pieces that just odd £5 and here and £10 there that I think most of us have. But you know, the odd £5, the odd £10 doesn't seem that much, does it? So I've got rid of those, which is great. Another thing that myself and my wife have been doing is looking at, in retirement, what are our plans as far as expenditure then? So what are we spending out now that we won't be, you know? And we're not like most in that we both work from home the majority of the time. So we haven't got this scenario that a lot of people have, that they get meals out or they pay fuel for getting to work, etc. If I go out to see my customers, it's generally on the train, and I'll get tickets from the company. So there's no real savings there for me. Maybe the odd cup of coffee when I am out, and maybe a sandwich at lunchtime, but that really isn't that often, to be honest. But we do live a life of convenience. We probably have far too many takeaways. Now, not unhealthily too many, and generally we are quite fussy about mostly fussy about takeaways, but we do allow a little bit of indulgence here and there. And we live conveniently as far as shopping goes. So we use a thing called HelloFresh, that I'm sure most people have heard of. And what it means is you get a box every week. 4 meals of our week for home cooking are sorted for us. Now, that's a convenient thing. You know, it's easy to knock these meals up. They're all in the box. They're all portion controlled for you, so you don't have to go to Tesco's and spend, I don't know, buy a massive bag of spice when you only need a little 5 grams, whatever. So that's something we can knock on the head. And there's 40 odd pounds a week, right? We're talking about nearly £200 a month. Now, admittedly, we've still got to buy food, but we've done the sums on that, and we think that with what we've got to buy to replace what we currently use in HelloFresh, we're probably looking at saving £120 a month. You know, it's not insignificant. £120 a month over 12 months. Again, it's over £1,000. You know, I'm looking at getting close on to saving £3,000 a year, just from being a bit more careful. And we could go further if we needed to. You know, I don't want to be a spendthrift by any stretch of the imagination, but you know, if I decided to go to more own brands, more supermarkets that do cheaper food, you know, there are other avenues there. So I think this whole thing is so doable. You know, we can do this. So that's what I've been doing on the audit. As far as the car decision goes, I'll be honest, I'm nowhere nearer with that. I just don't know. I'm contacting my lease company to see if they would be interested in, or could be persuaded, should I say, because I've already said they're not interested, but see if I could persuade them to sell me my car, because I know I'm the only owner of it, only person that's driven it, and it's a nice car, and I could probably get it, you know, relatively good value compared to going out there and getting another second-hand car that I don't know, you know, the owners, etc. So that might help me out. But realistically, the 40% hook for a car leased through work, you know, doing it on salary sacrifice, is meaningful. And I think the fact that I haven't got really anywhere in my own headspace for that tells its own story, that perhaps I'm not as ready to make that decision as I thought I was. So that's one I really do need to work through. That's been quite good though. Regarding the house, I mentioned before that we aren't 100% happy with how our house is laid out. It's very open planned. We want to move the kitchen into the garage conversion, which is currently my son's playroom, or games room. He turned 14 today, actually. which is another reason why I didn't get as much done this weekend as I hoped to. Life got in the way. Today was Jake's birthday. Yesterday he had a football match, which resulted in us travelling over half an hour each way to get there, and an hour and a half football match while we were there. So, yeah, real life got kind of in the way a bit this weekend. But we have got a couple of builders coming around next week to look at what we want to do, and hopefully we can trim the fat there a little bit as well. So things are progressing in the right direction. And as far as this channel goes, I'm actually blown away this weekend what's been happening with this channel. I did this, for those that don't know, as a bit of a think out loud. This is what it was all about. I had all these things in my head, not knowing what to do, where to go, what decisions to make. So I started this channel as more of a case of me thinking through my own problems, as opposed to really making it anything that people would actually subscribe to and watch. If that happened, brilliant. And I was hoping that I could get a few people to, we can chew the fat together and talk about in the comments, especially people give their ideas. Fully aware that some people are probably not as nice as everybody, but I was prepared for that. That was fine. But it was more a case of holding myself to account. That's what I did this for. That was what this is all about. But this weekend has been astonishing for a small channel with just me talking this stuff through my head. A guy that's getting to the point in his life where he wants to just call it a day. And subscribers over 100. I didn't expect to get 20. And I was at 20ish for quite a while. But now over 100 people this weekend. It's gone over 100, and the views are astounding. Over 1,000 and over 2,000 in some cases on little videos. But yeah, it's amazing. The walking videos I did earlier in the week are obviously the ones that showed me something that people do like, maybe to see this beautiful outdoors as opposed to my stupid office. I don't know. But I'm also conscious that sitting in my office, I don't script as such, but I do have bullet points to read off, and it does tend to rein you back in. I probably need to find a way to give myself topics to discuss and not. Now I am going off track a little bit with this video, obviously, because I'm talking about it in general, but I probably need to find a way to keep it on track a little bit, because I can go off piste. So that's the challenge I'm going to have. But I definitely do think this is a great idea, because not only is planning for retirement messes with your head quite a bit, right? We all know that. We all go through this. We all have, I wouldn't say depression. That's probably a very strong word to say. But we all have these difficult moments where we just don't know whether we're coming or going. And it's actually gorgeous out here. And that's what I was getting to, actually. The fact that getting out of the office and getting out into the open air, it does help your mental health. There's no doubt about that. And it helps me think more clearly. And talking about these things out loud, and they do sound far more simple sometimes, can be a challenge. But yeah, it's just nice to get out in nature, isn't it? Especially this time of year. I know that we're into spring now. Sun's starting to go up in the sky. Beautiful. I'm lucky to live right. I literally live around the back here. These woods, all back on to my house. So I'm very lucky there. But I realised, we've lived here now for 16 years. And yeah, we do come out, particularly COVID years. We were out here all the time. This was our exercise route, and so was it many people in this area. But we don't really come out here enough. So, a good way of getting a bit of exercise, thinking your problems through, talking them through. And I think that might be a format for me. But I promise I'll get better at the format and make sure that we're talking through actual things rather than just what's in my head. Although sometimes talking that through is what we want. So yeah, really, really pleased. Can't thank people enough for a lot of the really good comments. People giving their ideas, people communicating with each other on the. I just didn't expect a community like this, and I guess that's what I'm looking at doing next. Because building a community about this that all us guys and gals. I mean, this channel does seem to be heavily led by men watching it. Perhaps it's my ugly mug that does that. I don't know. but it does seem to be male heavy. But yeah, it'd be great to get more ladies involved as well in the conversations. Perhaps just naturally I slant towards a male point of view. I can't understand that. But yeah, I'd like to build a bit of a community out of this. I think that people can really talk openly and especially get to know people that have done certain things. Go, well, in my experience, I did this. So that's kind of where I want to take this whole journey. And I'm looking at ways to do that, both on and off YouTube, to see what I can do. And yeah, that's kind of where my headspace is at, because I don't know about anybody else. Perhaps it's very much because it's my life that I'm discussing here, but particularly on a lot of the comments that I get, it's helped me. So I can only thank people enough for that, and enough rambling from me. I'd love it if people subscribe more. 97% of people that watch these videos don't subscribe. You know, a very small percentage do subscribe. So if you could subscribe, that would really, really, really help me out, and be something we can take in and open that conversation out between us. But I appreciate everything. Thanks, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.